This podcast is brought to you by our Anime Addicts community, and it's Christmas season. If you want to do a good thing this season, if you want Santa to think that you're nice, you can go to Patreon, support the podcast. We appreciate everything you do for us on Patreon, and we give back to you as well. Your Christmas gifts are hentai episodes. Wow, who saw that coming? We've got hobby addicts. We're going to talk about games. We're going to talk about manga. We're going to talk about movies. Everything you love, and also the after parties, but after the show is over. So again, if you want to support the podcast, go over to Patreon, and we'll see you there. And now it's time to start the podcast.
Get ready! You're about to listen to the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast. Make your anime addiction worse at AAAPodcast.com. And now, here are your anime addicts.
Welcome into the podcast, episode 809. Wow. Of the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast. Where the sole mission, say it with me now, is to make your anime addiction worse. That's right. We're here to help you out with that. I am your host, Mitsugi. I'm wearing the Lenovo from my old company. The Lenovo hat. The Lenovo hat is a special hat because it's a captain's hat, and I am driving the podcast today. Welcome into the show. We also have, it's my wife. She's third best prostitute in all Knoxville.
Only the third?
That's right. Sorry.
Damn.
I got to leave room for improvement, okay? It's Pancake.
Hello. And I have all of my harem with me today.
Oh my God, the harem.
Including the illustrious Andrew. Hello, husband. How are you?
Ho, 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 ho. And I'm not just talking about you because it's Christmas time. Hello.
Ho, ho, ho.
Andrew.
And we're not talking about,
my...
what is it? Paris Hilton, Nicole Richie standing next to the Hilton sisters.
Oh my God.
No, it is Christmas. I am now, you must only refer to me by my Christmas name, Friggy. I am now Friggy. No, I'm kidding.
All right, we can do that.
Hey, no. Either or is fine. But, you know, it's the return of the Friggy / Andrew / it's Christmas time. Ooh.
Would you like to introduce the rest of your harem?
Yes.
Pancake?
I also have my wife, first best prostitute in all of Minnesota.
Oh, wow.
Lady Emery.
I like Minnesota.
Oh, what? My goal now is to insert as much Archer references for Mitsuki because I have learned that that's his cozy show. So I just want to see if I can just, play those.
Listen, I have multiple cozy shows. The Boondocks, I already quoted the Boondocks today. And Archer is good. Pancake
Careful.
hates... Careful, why?
You know why?
I don't know. Can you do, do you want me to do a granddad impersonation?
He does a really good granddad.
Pancake hates Archer.
I don't I don't like the blonde woman.
Oh my God.
Oh, Pam?
Yeah. Every time she's on
Pam,
screen, I want to throw something.
Anyway, you can quote Archer all you want. Anyway, welcome into the show. You can follow us live. We're on YouTube at Sundays at 8 a.m. If you want to give us a like and subscribe, that would help out the podcast. We appreciate that very much. If you want to tell a friend about the show, that also helps out, so don't be shy. Head over to the Discord, AAADiscord.com. Every other Wednesday night at 9 p.m., we do Anime Club. So they've wrapped up for the month of December, but they're going to be back in January. So join now, and then you can be there for all the fun that happens in January. I don't know what animes they're going to be doing, but they vote on them. So you actually get to vote on what anime you want to watch with the Anime Club, and then there you go. Also, Secret Santa is going to be happening, so I'm sure we're going to do some kind of a rundown of that. I'm not sure when that's going to happen, but probably soon. So, all right, guys, what are we doing on this episode of the podcast today? Well, would you like to try to say it, Lady Emery?
To bring holiday cheer, we're going to talk
What
about...
are we talking about today? Come on.
Hikikomori. No, I said that wrong on purpose. We watched a lot of
Hikikomori.
We watched a lot of YouTube videos and read a lot of books for this, and there's a lot of mispronunciations. But Hikikomori. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying.
We're also going to be reviewing Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity, which is... I have questions about that title. We'll get to that later.
I don't love the title, but it's still good.
More announcements. I want to thank someone that supported on Patreon. Mount Voodoo decided to stand up and say, "God damn it, my name is Mount Voodoo, and I am an anime addict." And I appreciate that. It takes balls to admit. Thank you for your support. It was brought to my attention that we haven't done the listener choice yet, which I was like, what? I swear to you, I put this on the document.
Gasp.
Someone... I'm blaming all y'all. Someone deleted it for sure, because I definitely put this in already. All right, so let's run through it. First runner-up we have here is Gnosia. Do you like that word, Pancake? Do you like how that's spelled? Gnos? Gnosia? Mm-hmm.
No, my dyslexic brain fucking hates that.
Yeah, I don't think you say the G in that word. So 14% of the vote picked Gnosia, which means you're a big fat loser. Nobody wanted to watch you. Fourth place, and was in the lead early because everybody on the Discord's a bunch of perverts. Y'all a bunch of filthy coomers. So
I'm coming day and night.
Hands off Kote Sashi-kun with 16% of the vote. Also a loser. That's fourth place. Sorry. You also are a loser. And number three. My generic light novel title, number 400. My status as an assassin obviously exceeds... What is the whole title? I didn't write it all down. My status as an assassin obviously exceeds the... Oh my god.
That's obviously too short. What's happening?
Yeah, it's not right. My status as an assassin obviously exceeds the heroes. So I almost had it all. 17%. So we will be watching that. So good. You know, we talk a lot of shit on these like isekais and these light novels. They keep coming. People keep voting for them. So I don't know what to do. Number two, second on the list here. 18% of the vote. This monster wants to eat me. So I tried to get rid of it. And I think I failed this, but it's back. So I'm very unfortunate. And also the number one anime from the last season. We'll be doing a review on this. Rom the One Half Season 2 with a dominating 33% of the vote. So almost doubling up second place.
I think
Oh, really?
Surprised you? That I saw that coming. I feel like it was just so popular and was debated being passed anyway.
Yeah, and I feel like the others just weren't that strong or good. I mean, look at the percentages. It wasn't even close. So
season 2 of Ramna does have a lot more of shampoo. Sorry to think of that name. It's just such a stupid name. Has a lot more shampoo in it, but it is tragic because they drew her without nipples. Why? Why does this continue to happen? I really want an answer, and I'm not going to the big news until I get an answer. I'm putting my foot down.
Because it's PG. It's not rated
Free the nipple.
PG-13.
Okay, so I have
it's on Netflix.
I have a retort to that.
You can blame.
Listen, I have a retort. If you don't want to show nipples, don't have her take her shirt off. They're like, oh, it's PG, but I'm just going to strip naked, so you're already past PG.
They don't have nipple in Sailor Moon, and they're naked.
And they fucking should. If you have the balls to have her get in a bath naked and show it, show the damn nipples, or don't show the bath scene. There's never been a necessary bath scene.
Just go watch the original. There's nipple in the original.
I'm going to fucking rant. There's never been a necessary bath scene. Or we have a clip from Chiaki from like 12 years ago talking about how there's ever been a need to have a bikini girl's ass in the foreground of a shot. And no matter what you're saying in that moment is lost because of the ass that's in the foreground. So if you're going to show the tits, if you're going to show the breasts in the bath, show the nipples because they look weird without them. Anybody else?
I just Googled why no nipples in anime, and what's great is it's people concerned why the male characters almost never have nipples, and I've never thought to myself, why doesn't this male character have
I mean,
I've thought
that is fair, and you can just draw a little black circle or something like they do whatever. Do you have a comment, Pancake?
Yeah, why do
You're
we
one
get...
of the greatest prostitutes in all of Knoxville, so you should know about this.
Why do we get butthole on cats and dogs, but no nipple on male anime characters?
That's what I'm fucking talking about.
Fair point.
It's so basically, if you want the non-meme answer, advertising is weird, and they will accept the weirdest things. So it's why side boob exists in TV, but once you or like pasties, but once you show a nipple, it makes it sexual. So it's just like the little loopholes that we get through in life to essentially allow us to see more without seeing anything at all, where seeing anything would just be normal. So yeah, basically that little circle, Mitsuki, makes it rated R, and that basically dramatically cuts your funding. And in our capitalistic society, that's just not great money.
Yes, indeed.
And it's Netflix.
All right, that was an acceptable answer, and now we can move on.
It's time for big news of the week.
Whoa! Because Chainsaw Man is getting a season 2, and you all love it. Rejoice. I'm waiting.
I'm so fucking ready.
How ready is your body?
My body is beyond ready.
Hey, girl.
There. That. Exactly.
All right. So, I think we should watch the trailer with the audience. What do you think?
Yeah.
So I'm going to bring the trailer up. It's a trailer that I pulled off of CBR, so who knows if this is good. I don't know if you guys, Lady Emery, Friggy, I don't know if you'll be able to hear this.
That's okay.
Oh, so much drama. It's an umbilical cord. Chainsaw Man. As Denji hangs from an umbilical cord or whatever the fuck that was. And all right, thoughts?
I'm so bricked up for this.
You're bricked up. Wow.
I just want to know if we're gonna have snowball fights in this season or not.
What the hell does that mean?
I know what you mean. I was wondering if we're gonna have my favorite, one of my favorite girls show up in this season.
Okay. Well, this is I think still gonna be it's gonna be called the Assassin's Arc. They're just doing this shit that like all these other shonen do now, and I don't like it. It's always.
What do you mean?
I guess it's been happening for 100 years probably, and I'm just crotchety and old. But
You're
it's like
just crotchety and old.
Probably, but it's like, hey, you're the one that married it. But it's like, but it's like, oh, Demon Slayer, Chikaku Sokusaku Hen Arc, Demon Slayer, Kokuraku Hikikomori Zenkai Sayaku Arc, and then this, what is this one called? It's just. I don't know. They just don't have. Everything's always something hen, And this one is the Chainsaw Man Shikaku Hen. So I don't know. They're just no one.
I like it because
you like it. Okay.
It helps. I think it helps people if they want to go back and like read the manga or like pick up the manga. Where it left off.
I'm just used to seeing like. Such and such season 1, such and such season 2, such and such season 3.
Yeah, but how the fuck? But then people are going back and saying, "Okay, I just watched season 5 of One Piece. What arc was that? How do I go read the manga?"
Yep. I like it for the mapping ability, and also because if somebody said, I just watched season 5 of One Piece, which again, One Piece is a little bit different since it's all kind of technically like one chunky big season, and now we're going to have technically a season 2, which is just funny to me. But if they said like, oh, I started on episode 336, I'd be like, I don't know what that is. Give me the arc so I don't accidentally spoil something for you.
I think it helps spoilers for sure. It's kind of like the Culling Games arc name. It's like, oh, that's where we're at.
Well, I'm pretty excited because that Rize movie was dope.
Yeah, I think you need to go back and rewatch the first season.
Well, it's not that long. I don't think much happened. So.
Yeah.
I mean, in a shonen anime where they can fight for 20 straight minutes, not much is going to happen in a 3-hour runtime. Anyway, but the movie was, I can rewatch it. The movie was a big hit, $175 million worldwide. Which I guess is a hit by like most movie standards.
It probably cost them like maybe at most $1 million to
make.
Oh,
it's definitely more than $1 million. Come on.
It is. Remember, it is the anime industry. How much an episode of anime costs? Like what? 1 million yen? Because they pay people so little.
Let's look it up. So the Chainsaw Man movie had a production budget of $4 million, and
so I wasn't even that far off. Let's be honest.
They say the marketing budget is like half of the production budget. So we'll say $6 million. So yeah, so it was very, very profitable. But I mean, I just mean that like in the scope of regular movies, $175 million worldwide is like nothing. It did hold its position. Well, the Sonic movie did $500 million.
Yeah, but you're talking about the big movies, but I think there's a lot of movies that we don't talk about that aren't blockbusters.
It's fine. It's fine. It was a good movie. I'm just saying.
Good. These are good. I don't even care about Chainsaw Man that much. I'm just saying these are actually pretty good numbers in terms of like profit margin ratios. I can be.
Listen,
I agree.
CBR doesn't offer much context for things. They just say wild shit and then expect with no context. Anyway, so it did hold its position of number 1 in Japan for quite a while. It even dethroned several major productions that came from America on its opening weekend. So, big hit movie. It was a good movie. If you haven't seen the Rize's Arc movie, well, it's probably gone now, but you'll be able to watch it somewhere. Definitely recommend watching it. It was great. I'm excited for this.
It had such a big impact that people, like anime-only people, went and saw it, and they've gone to the telephone booth that Rize and Denji meet up at and are leaving flowers there.
Oh, my Lord. They would.
I love that.
Any other comments on the Chainsaw Man movie?
It's good.
On the movie, yep, but I'm really happy that we'll continue this on because it's just going to get more emotional and more wacky.
As I show our show notes on screen. Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen the movie. I'll probably watch it closer to when the second season comes out. But for the most part, more Chainsaw Man sounds cool. I didn't hate the first season. I thought it was pretty chill. Apparently it looks better in the manga, but I think I could still get past a lot of that in the show itself. It still did some cool things. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Quick follow-up here to an ongoing topic, and I'm just going to read 2 paragraphs from this, and then I would like to see what your guys' thoughts are. Because, let's be honest, within 2 years, dubbing will be totally dead. So, talent management agency 81 Produce and AI software company Elven Labs announced a business partnership on Monday. The company said that the partnership is for the protection of the voices of the voice actors under Elven One Produce from unauthorized third-party generative AI use. Elven Labs claimed, however, to be able to use its technology to take voice acting samples with the consent of voice actors and produce AI dubs using that actor's voice in 29 languages. They said this will improve the productivity for various streaming services. They're literally saying Steve Bloom they can just take Steve Bloom from like GTO and literally use his voice for the rest of human history in any language they want. What are your thoughts?
I don't like it. That's
creepy. I still think it's a major thing to say like dubbing is dead because of how disastrous this was for Amazon and how people are still ridiculing them for it.
I have some thoughts on that because if you listen to, there's some AI voice videos you can watch on like YouTube that didn't realize were AI for an hour. I mean, like this is so me. I was watching a 5-hour clip of the history of Resident Evil, and then I got an hour in and I played a clip for Pancake, and she was like, "Do you know that's AI, right?" And I was like, "What?" I didn't know. That voice sounded a whole hell of a lot better than what Amazon used. So my opinion is that Amazon, whatever they used, was just like dog shit AI, and the reality is that we're actually way past that already.
I don't know. I can clock it, and when I can clock it, like if I'm watching a YouTube video or just listening to it while I'm working, I can't unhear that it's AI, and I cannot watch the video. It just, something about it is like uncanny valley, like gets under my skin. I have to turn it off.
Do you have a thought, Friggy, since you're Christmas Friggy now?
I am Christmas Friggy. Yeah, no, I sort of similar to Pancake. It is one of the things where when I hear AI, I kind of almost instantly turn it off, even if the video topic seemed interesting. But usually there is a production value that goes along with it that is also somewhat lazy. So it makes it pretty easy to do that. I agree with Lady Emery that I don't think this is the end of dubbing whole writ, because I think people do want something authentic. I think it'll get to a point where I'll equate it to sort of like CG animation, where it'll get to a point where it becomes the dominant factor. People will do it lazily. And now you're hearing stories about them trying to go back to like hand-drawn traditional animation in some way, shape, or form.
Like Disney.
Not like 100%, but like they're going back to it. But remember, if we remember the early 2000s, like after Toy Story, basically, like a lot more CG stuff started coming out, especially after Toy Story 2, more specifically, when the technology became more widespread. A lot of animation started being like wholly CG, where I think the last fully animated, hand animated Disney movie was like in 2000. I forget when The Princess and the Frog came out. Was it like 2008, 2009?
I was going to say, it's got to be like 2008, 2009.
Yeah, so I think it's sort of be something like that. I think AI dubbing is going to hit a point where people are just going to be okay with it. The people who are going to be actual voice actors are going to be able to profit, but it's going to shrink the industry. And I equate it to like auto-tune, quote unquote, in the music industry, where most people can kind of tell it's auto-tune, but most people assume most of it's auto-tune, but if it's good enough, people are willing to look past it. And so we're sort of heading towards a dystopian future, but if we're lucky, we'll still get some really cool art out of like the actual artists going forward.
Do you know what isn't dystopian? Your news, Andrew. It's very based.
It's pretty just like a nothing burger news. It was a pretty slow week for the news.
You can't.
I saw
dare
this.
You?
I mean, I saw the article you were talking about, and I figured it would be brought up anyway, so I left that for one of y'all to bring up this partnership. But it's just like the Digimon anime is getting a dub, which is pretty great. Like I think every other Digimon anime has essentially gotten a dub, and this is gonna follow in its footsteps. Not much has been announced in terms of like when the dub is coming out, who's dubbing it, and all that kind of stuff. But hey, a dub announcement is always fun to hear for Digimon, and also, if you want to see Digimon, the original dub of the original Digimon Adventure from way back, aired on Fox Kids, more or less. Disney Plus has actually put the first season of Digimon on Disney Plus, at least on some of their places. I don't know if it's in the US, but I know for sure in Canada. And it's the Fox Kids dub. It's not like a new dub or anything. And there's no Japanese version. It's just the Fox Kids dub. So they're definitely using that Fox merger stuff that they bought from Fox. So yeah. More Digimon!
Yeah.
Yay!
All right, Lady Emery, what do you got?
Pretty easy one, I guess. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3, as a reminder, it's going to premiere in January 8th. I believe that currently they are showing a compilation movie in theaters, because that's just what you do now. You can hear my voice just like wah-wah of that, just because I wanted new stuff. But I am looking forward to this. This is the call-in games. This is what I hate, Mitsuki, is the call-in games part 1.
Me too. I hate that.
I hate that. Just do it all.
Don't do that. just either do it all, don't call it part 1, or just like come up with the next subtitle for it. Like I hate this part 1, final season, part 2, but really this is the final season. Like
Final season, part 1.5.
Embrace your rage.
Oh my gosh. But I'm excited for this. I think, Andrew, you've told me in the past that you kind of like a Dami Mommy, and you're going to get that, which I'm very excited for.
I mean, I was looking forward to Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3. I'm glad it didn't take forever to make. And the manga is done. Am I not mistaken? Or is it close to being done?
It's done.
So, all done.
So it means we're going to at least get some good pacing, I think, out of this once the manga's done. And you know what? I'm okay with them calling games part 1, because obviously it's a split course season. Let's be honest here. Like, I don't think they're doing the full 26 episodes or 24. I'd rather that than what they did with the original Attack on Titan final season, where they called it the final season, and then basically at the end said, oh, by the way, this is part 1, the final season. And it was like a full 24 episode show. So like, at least they're letting you know up front it's part 1 of the Culling Games, which I hear is like a pretty crazy arc that a lot of people have very mixed feelings about.
Yeah, that's what I was going to address real quick, just to prepare people for the Culling Games. And Pancake, remind me, I think you've also fully read the manga, right?
I haven't gotten to the very, very end.
Okay, so I'll be very diligent about this. The Cullen Games is going to have a lot of rules.
Yes,
Good
lots
luck
of rules.
to everyone. Lots of rules. Do your best to follow. Just get to the punchy fights. I think that's what I'm excited for. But I just want to say that for this arc, there's one fight in particular that's one of my top fights that I loved reading. I'm excited to see it put to visuals. What I'm not excited for is the amount of rules. You will have new characters. You will try to keep track of them. And there are going to be things in here that an American audience just might not understand, because there's a lot of Japanese nuances, humor thrown in here that might go over your head. It certainly went over my head. And I'm okay with that. But like, I also was frustrated.
Yeah, I actually talked about JJK with my Japanese tutor, and we were kind of comparing Chainsaw Man and JJK because they're kind of similar, you know, but not the same. And she was talking about how JJK is more like the Shinto religion expanded, and with lots of rules and things of that nature, with like sealing and yada yada yada. So I thought that was interesting. But yeah, my brother and I talked about JJK a lot while we were in Japan.
Your brother?
Muja, yeah.
Listen, you better not have no brother.
I've got 3.
Oh, no. You better not have no 3 brothers. Unforgivable.
I'm sorry. He likes the Culling Games, but he said this is kind of the worst writing portion of JJK.
Yikes.
And he almost lost interest in reading the manga because of it. So I think it's going to be a mixed bag with people once it gets animated. Either you're going to really like it, or you're going to be like, what is this shitburger?
Is it going to be like the Hunter x Hunter arc where they were like collecting cards and they had all the fucking rules about transferring and blah, 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 and you can only use this once, but this card you can use it twice if you're you know what I mean?
Imagine that, but then you get to add new rules or take away rules as you go.
Oh, that sounds like there's no rules.
You got all the rules and none of the rules all at the same time, and
it's very shonen.
Yeah,
all right, we should move on.
Sorry.
Yeah, we can.
All right. So, Hikikomori. So, I am excited to do this topic. I studied Asian culture in college for, not that wasn't like 700 years ago, quite a lot. So this was a topic way back then, even when I was in college. So I'm very interested to talk about this. And I did find a clip from a YouTube video called from a channel Into the Shadows, Hikikomori, the Japanese people who choose extreme isolation. This is a clip, so I'm going to play this clip because I think it sets the tone for what we're going to talk about rather well.
Merry
The
Christmas.
dark bedroom in Tokyo. Long after the apartment has fallen silent, a 34-year-old man cracks open his door for the first time all day. He pauses, listening for footsteps. In the off chance anyone is awake, he doesn't want to risk being seen. After slipping quietly into the kitchen, he takes the plate of fish and rice that his mother left for him wrapped in plastic and hurries back to his room, locks the door and returns to his computer, back safe and sound. This has been his life for 6 years. Tomorrow is going to be the same, and the day after that, the same still. He is one of Japan's million-plus hikikomori, people who have withdrawn so completely from society that leaving the room feels impossible. In his groundbreaking book, Adolescence Without End, Saito gave a name to what he was witnessing. Hikikomori, a phenomenon where young people, often teenagers or those in their early 20s, would retreat into their bedrooms and refuse all contact with the outside world. Not for days, not for weeks, but for years, decades even.
Hikikomori. So I just gotta say, because I can't resist. It's just who I am. I have no idea how a channel with 1 million followers got there. When the literal subject of your video, Hikikomori, you just brutally butcher it hundreds of times during the video. Like, bro, it's not Hikikomori. It doesn't have an A in the word. Like, what are you doing?
I mean, if you want some behind-the-scenes tea, technically, when this was written on our schedule, it was written Hikikomori also. just with two Ks.
Even that doesn't have an A in it.
Though.
Even that is, yeah, that is funny, but yeah, I don't know. That's besides. It's Hikikomori. It's anyway. So Lady Emery, you did such a great job of putting so many good notes on this document. That
Yeah.
I kind of think you should start, and I have a lot to say, but I'll just kind of come in when I can. But yeah, I definitely think that you have a lot of good things here.
Yeah, I appreciate the podcast for letting me dig into just random topics and subjects. I started reading this. God, I don't remember what the topic was now, but maybe it was about isekai or something. Either way, okay. So I'm going to rewind us back real quick. So everyone talks about the Japanese bubble when the bubble burst.
Yep.
The Japanese asset price bubble is the full title of it. If you want to get show notes, we have some nice links in there. So I'm bringing us back to this point because this is where the growth of Hikikomori really happened.
Good
this
job.
This is an economic bubble in Japan. It began in 1986 through 1991. During that period, real estate stock prices, they were greatly inflated. Then in early 1992, this price bubble burst and the country's economy stagnated. And I would almost argue went into what is now, like a 30, 40-year recession. I just don't feel they fully have recovered.
Yeah, one of the most fun things about Japan that people don't really, well, I don't know. Some people think about it and some people don't probably, but Japan hasn't had a prevalent inflation rate pretty much since the 90s. If you look up the chart, you'll see that Japan's inflation, and it has even been deflation, has hovered around, was -1 to, I'll say, 1% most years since then. That's why when you go to Japan, you can still buy a can of soda out of a vending machine for literally 100 yen. It was 100 yen 15 years ago or whatever when I first went to Japan, and it's still 100 yen. So I like that because, life is so hard in the West right now. Anyway, continue. Go ahead, Friggy.
And just as a quick side note as well, like when you talk about this economic bubble, right? Like, and bringing it back to somewhat to anime in a little sense, this is when a lot of OVAs were produced. Like a lot of companies opened up a lot of OVAs. Part of this, they had the money to do all these crazy things, and why OVAs sort of like almost seemingly died after in the 90s, and much less as well. Because if you look at OVA production, I'm pretty sure you would see like there's just a ton, like even like Legend of the Galactic Heroes and things like that. But yes, do continue, please.
I do want to add another thing since we're popping in little anime tidbits. This is also the time period, if you've watched Nana, this is what impacted a lot of those characters' personalities and why they behave the way they do. And that's what created a lot of these subcultures, not just the Hikikomori, because in Nana, we're not following that. We're following kind of the outcast, like lack of aspiration, like punk subsector that came from this bubble. That's
Is
my
that
little,
Emery?
my
Yeah,
little
no,
tidbit.
I love that because you're right. I do feel like this is the era where things start splitting, and it gets mentioned in anime, manga. They talk about it a lot in Japan, of this bubble pop, and there's a lot of theories of why this happened. You know, they had an unchecked money supply and credit expansion issue. Was there enough regulation, too much regulation towards the end of this bubble? And I feel like that's a topic where, if anyone is truly interested in that, we can get into the weeds of that a different day. But one of the biggest growths after this bubble popped was Hikikomori. And what it means is it means to retreat or hide yourself. Most call it like social withdrawal. And you might think, oh, it's, you've lost your way. You're not like feeling your job anymore. No, this is like they completely shut down mentally. And it was identified originally as like an adolescent thing, that teenagers were not feeling their drive. They were fearing going into this world where they were no longer having this economic stability. And oftentimes they were bullied. And so instead of either persevering or going through it, or instead of like doing anything about it, they completely shut down from society and they stay in their house. And their parents, who fear losing face, continue to sustain them. A lot of people ask, well, is this just a Japanese problem? No, it is no longer just a Japanese problem. There is evidence of this being in Korea, in Italy, in France. Why it's maybe not seen as much, I think it's coming to the West, but as much in the West, is usually what happens is parents kick their kids out after a time when they're in either Europe or America, and then those children who are feeling this way become homeless. So oftentimes you might not see a homeless population in Japan, you'll see this instead. But yeah, any thoughts on that or anything to add?
Well, so
That's an interesting difference in our culture to point out, because where us Western cultures, particularly in America, parents will get fed up and be like, you're not doing anything, get out of my house. Where Japanese, they are so much about saving face. They're like, no, I'll just hide you. Like, we'll just keep this quiet.
okay. Since we're going to talk about face, you want to talk about face?
Go ahead.
So face is primarily a Chinese concept, but a lot of the Asian countries around China tends to be the oldest, and a lot of countries around China have their cultural roots and like their heritages coming from the Chinese area. So Japan isn't really that different. So they have the concept too. They call it mentsu, and it's the same maintenance of your family honor, your dignity, your reputation that would make like a samurai kill himself because he did something that today we were like, what? It's like not that big a deal, man. But it's like it's a Confucian tradition, and it exists in these collectivist cultures.
I was about to ask, is it a collectivist versus an individualistic
it's
society type of thing?
It's the same reason why everybody. It's much of the same reason why when you go to Japan, everybody has the same, like they always dress up nice in public. They're all really polite to each other because they don't want to stir the pot. Why schools get mad at kids for dyeing their hair or wearing like different like clothing that doesn't adhere to the uniforms. So all of these things are all about like not standing out, not embarrassing your family, not being different. And this is the same reason why in Japan a lot of mental illness gets ignored, because the families will refuse to acknowledge that mental illness could possibly happen to their family. Even though, let's be honest, like I feel like I know a bajillion people that have some kind of mental illness in their family of some kind, and it's just a part of life, you know. We hear about people that have like all sorts of things, but in Japan they'll just like sweep it under the rug and pretend like it doesn't exist. We can talk about more about this later, but like, yeah, the parents, they'd rather just hide their kids than feed them and then have anybody know that they're a failure at life or whatever. So it's really a problem.
It's really interesting because I feel like either way, just looking at the Western versus the Eastern way of going about this isn't helpful.
Or like, we're kick your ass out on the street.
Yeah, it's like you're homeless or you are hidden and we won't do anything about it and then we'll die.
in an interesting way, I think you also see this in a lot of more immigrant cultures in the West. It sort of like has like sort of like the amalgamation of sort of both methods. You'll see people living with their parents or in the family home up until like late adulthood, just because there's no expectation of being kicked out, because why would you go out into the world unless you really need to, or something to that effect. So I think you can find like that to some extent. But yeah, definitely looking at it through a collectivist versus individualistic lens, while it could yield some interesting things, I feel it's too broad of a brush, I guess. Yeah.
Well, and I think what you can see is the collectivists, you might have hikikomori happening, but for individualists, you see the epidemic of loneliness happening, like the loss of drive, the loss of like self. And so that creates in itself a different problem.
It's got to be a wild time to be a hikikomori, though. I mean, not that I'm saying it's good or anything, but like, imagine how bad this must have been for people when they were in like the 90s, because this is not new, right? Like I said, nowadays the internet is so intense, and there's such a vibrant community online, and like now we have like MMOs, like people can play World of Warcraft or whatever. It's like you could practically you could even make a living online. You could practically just stay in your room and like still have a social life and like a job. Not saying it's good, but like I'm just thinking about how like the times change and it affects certain things. And this must have been like in the 90s, you probably had no one to talk to. Like it must have been fucking crazy being a shut-in in the 90s. You know what I mean?
It took real commitment in the 90s. Are you saying that they're on easy mode now?
They're definitely on easy mode. Yeah,
they're on easy mode now. Let's be
big
honest.
time. Yeah.
I mean, even looking at the early 2000s, right? Now you don't even have to, like Mitch said, you don't have to leave your room for anything. Even in the early 2000s, you kind of still had to, go to the convenience store sometimes if you were not living with your parents, even though they were just sending you money. You still had to do other things, like.
If you were
you could just do everything from your chair.
If you were living in America, for example, I don't know about like in Japan how jobs are or whatever, but you could literally go to a job interview, apply, do the interview, get the job, and fully work a corporate job without ever leaving your bedroom. I mean, they would never fucking know. Listen, 100% you could get away with that. I don't know that happens in Japan, but that definitely could happen, for sure. But I don't think most of these hikikomoris went to school and stuff, which is another conversation topic we'll get to. Lady Emery, where would you like to go?
Yeah. Well, I just want to say how many, because I feel like we're, skirting around it. And you had a great statistic in here. This is 1.4 million. Like, that's just so many people. That's more than a number of nations. And like I said, when this book got written in the 90s, I think, Adolescent Without End, which they mentioned in your soundbite, it was primarily an adolescent issue, but because it's not getting addressed because communication isn't happening, it's becoming a 30, 40, 50-year-old thing. And you have these, I think Pancake nailed it, like 80-year-old mothers cooking food until they just die. And then what? What happens? It's just such a large population, and I feel like it's only growing, unfortunately, because it's not being addressed.
And Saito, the guy who seems to be the authority on this subject, seems to believe that Japan, as a whole nation, would try to save face. The literal country would try to save face by undercounting the number of shut-ins. Like, we can't possibly report that the number is actually far larger than it is because that's too embarrassing. So they just shave it down a little to make it softer. So he thinks it's more like 2 million people. So now you're talking about like more than 1 in 100. Like you're almost at 2 in 100 people in Japan. So that's a lot. Or 2%.
It's just mind-boggling to me. Like
mind-boggling.
Mind-boggling.
Like you get your thoughts all trapped. Like they're cut up in a bottle.
That's not what I said, but okay. The support that these kids get from their parents, but the fact that they want to save face so bad and they ignore mental health, if they could just get help, they would have the support from their family. It's just crazy. Whereas we're just like, get the fuck out.
Well, we already explained that.
It's just crazy.
They don't want to do it.
It's hard for me to wrap my mind around that.
Well, you say that, but like, it's not like there's a lot of lack of support, and it's just interesting the different lacks of support. A lot of these issues could just be solved. I say solved. I'm using that in like a large writ kind of umbrella term. A lot of these can be essentially solved or dealt with in a much more healthy way if even just the mere acknowledgement of it. And you see a lot culture overall in a lot of places just like to ignore mental health and ignore mental illness as a whole part of it. And there's a lot of like, I don't know what the rainbow capitalism equivalent name is for this. You see a lot of people saying we care about mental health, but it's just like there's like that. It's a day like here in Canada we have like Mental Health Day, but like a lot of this comes from the fact that one, a lack of communication, and then two, a lack of acknowledgement. Like you said, we mentioned before, if there's no acknowledgement, you can't treat the problem, and then the problem just festers and grows and becomes 2 in 100 people are basically living in their house as a shut-in.
And you're 64 years old, and your 87-year-old mom is cooking you dinner until she dies, and then what do?
Don't knock it though. My mom cooks me a mean meal.
Oh my god. I'm not. I just stayed with my mom for a whole week, and she cooked me breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. It was great.
I have two things that I want to talk about primarily, and they're pretty big topics about this. One is about the parents and what's going to happen to these people when the parents die. Because the average age in Japan, let me see here, it's going to be fucking old. I can tell you that right now. Average age in Japan. Thank you, Google, for listening to me talk. The average age in Japan is around 50, which is really fucking old for like an average. That's not good. That means a lot of people are really old, and there's some articles you can read about online that talk about how the government is planning to do things to try to help them out, which includes putting out like pamphlets that will. This is such a and this feeds into my following point, but their solution partially is to put out pamphlets to help the Hikikomori be able to manage the finances and the expenses when the parents die. And I'm thinking, well, I guess they're presuming that the parents are going to leave some money behind that the kids can use to manage the expenses.
How are they going to get the pamphlets?
Well, I don't know, but how are they even going to find the Hikikomori to begin with? I don't know, but also it's like politically, and separating this from any like American politics or whatever, because it's just too annoying to talk about. If you're in a country and all they're going to do is put out pamphlets, that's not going to do shit, right? You're going to have 500,000 people starve to death inside their houses, and that's going to be real fun for like the paramedics, right? So you're going to have to provide some social support, some funding for these people, and then you're going to have a whole bunch of people that literally are going to look at this and they're going to say, Hikikomori, the literal definition of them is that they do nothing to contribute to society, and you want me to like give ass tons of money to fund these people's lives? I don't think people are going to be down for that. And Japan I don't know that like the new prime minister, for example, would be down with that, but like, I don't know, that's like the definition of like people not wanting to do something. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I have no fucking clue how they're going to support these people.
Yeah, I almost feel like they have to everyone's point, address the mental illness in the room. And that's going to be hard, where it's like, yeah, if you are looking at like, hey, we're going to give you a stipend to help, you're then going to need to seek employment as well as talk to whatever therapist, psychologist we have available to you. But again, they have to then identify the mental illness. And I'll just quickly touch on this because here, like, just so everyone is aware of like the symptoms and kind of the development, it's usually like listlessness. The people are skipping out on school. To your point, a lot of these people are no longer educated because they stopped high school or even middle school. And so it's like just trying to get them back on track with that. They also have a fear of others. One of the big ones is OCD, which isn't just like turning lights on and off again. It's not just like tapping things 3 times. It can be manifested as very black and white thinking or perfectionism. And when they are trying to be perfect for this society, that's just going to drive them further and further in. Some other key things: insomnia, the reversal of night and day, where that's why you always like see it depicted in media that they're up all night, sleeping all day. Regression, going back to the mind of a teenager. Also, the withdrawal needs to take place for 6 months or longer for them to truly be considered a hikikomori, not just like taking a leave of absence. Depression, suicidal thoughts, violent outbursts. So I just listed a bunch of stuff just so you're aware of all these different mental health factors that the society would need to address, which can seem overwhelming, but like take it a piece at a time and just try and help them out without just throwing money at the problem.
Right.
So, real quick, I just want to jump in here on a statistic. The chat was asking if they didn't know if 50 was old or not, because I didn't give any context, right? Japan is essentially the oldest country in the world. I mean, Saint Pierre and there's a French colony that only has like a handful of people in it that is older, and also Monaco is older, which is also a tiny country that barely has anybody living in it. So Monaco's got, what is the population of Monaco? 38,000. So Japan is the oldest country in the world, and the global average is 30. So Japan is nearly double the global average.
Well, and even just looking at the Western world, I was looking at a bunch of Western world countries. The average age in Western world countries seems to be closer to 40. So,
well, because if that's because Africa is like the average age, global average age, Africa is like.
Oh no, but I looked at specific countries. So I looked at Canada, U.S., UK. Like, let's see, France. They seem to have the average age around anywhere from like 39 to about 42 years old, which, yeah, so if Japan's average age is 50, it's definitely old, even by like Western standards as well on top of that.
Africa's definitely pulling that number down. Their average age is 19.
Yeah, 19 for the whole continent. There's a ton of people in Africa. Anyway, but yeah, that's... Yeah, Japan is
crazy.
Japan. That's what we're talking about. Japan's population is going to literally going to disappear soon. I mean, it's whatever. People don't want to talk about it, but it's going to come soon.
Yeah.
Anyway, can we talk about the school system in Japan?
Yes, I think that's really important because that's where this is like one of the major triggering events. But I figure you'll have a lot of good information about that.
Yeah, jump in, please.
Your studies.
Jump in, please. I mean, so in Japan, there's a reason why anime, and we've talked about this in the past several times, but in anime, you always get annoyed with like, oh, why are all the anime about like 12-year-olds? You know, it's always these little kids, and you know, and whenever there's a school anime, they're always fucking in middle school or elementary. I think high school is definitely a lower subset of the percentage here. Well, I was always told that the golden period of your life living in Japan is when pretty much you're in middle school or elementary school, because Japan's school system is extremely brutal. And even when you're teaching English at elementary school in Japan, they don't really give a fuck about English. They're just trying to get kids comfortable with the idea of hearing English, because when they get to middle school, they're going to have to learn a whole bunch of English, or they're going to supposedly have to try. And because in middle school, you have to take entrance exams to get into high school. And it's always said that in Japan, it's the opposite of how it is in America. Whereas in America, people fuck off in high school and then they supposedly bust their ass in college. Like that's the order that it's supposed to be. In Japan, they bust their ass to get into high school. They bust their ass in high school. And then if they go to college, that's when they fuck off, essentially. But there's so much social pressure in Japan to get into high school, get into a good high school, go to college, go work for a corporation, that when you fail to check these boxes, Japan just leaves you behind. And you can struggle to find employment that is meaningful if you're not able to check those boxes. And so that is a massive loss of face. And so a lot of these people, and if you watch the videos and stuff, they talk about this exact thing. Even that Into the Shadows video, I think, talks about this. they will literally they just can't face society that they can't handle having people know that they failed, basically. And so they komoru, I think is the verb that the etymology of the word. They komoru, which is to shut oneself inside something. Like we knew a girl, Peggy, we knew a girl in Japan that worked for like a company, and she hated it. Do you remember? No, she's not listening to this. You remember Wakako? I'm talking about. Oh, you weren't even there at that point. I used to know a girl in Japan named Wakako who was like an accountant, and she hated her job, but she knew that she was locked in forever because she knew that if she left her job to go somewhere else, nobody else would ever hire her ass, because that's just how Japan is. Their work culture and school system is so rigid and intense that if you're not able to do it, tough shit.
Yeah,
basically.
It's like you see all these things online and around in, I think, Western culture where it's like, yeah, you're 30, but you can reinvent yourself. I feel like Japan, you're locked in when you're 12. Like, you better get on track when you're 12 because there's no reinventing yourself. You are what you are, what you are. And it's just that crushing pressure.
It's a lot of...
for a young, developing brain.
I always thought, like, it'd be nice to move to Japan and raise a kid in Japan because it's just a safe place. But it's like, I just don't think I want to subject my child to their school system. Is the school system good? It really is. It's standardized. Everything's standardized down to, like, the chairs they use. Everything's standard. They all seem to be literate. They all can do math and all that good shit. But, like, that just seems like too much pressure to put on a middle schooler. You're about to take this big test that if you fucking fail, your whole fucking life is ruined. Oh, and by the way, I know you're only 13, but suck it up. Like, no, thank you. It's just not where I want my kid to grow up. So, I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on all that, but that's...
No, I agree. I feel like it's just such a crushing system. And to your point, are there pros? Yeah, I think one of the best things about the school system is like kids learn to clean up after themselves. Like they don't have janitorial staff. That's something that for some reason I just really admire. And the food there is like, relatively like nutritious even for like school lunches, and they serve one another. So there's like that really nice part of collectivism. And then if they miss a single grade or if they're like on a downward path, like that's it. And like Pancake was saying, like just the idea of like you need to know what you are going to lock in at age 12 and you can't really reinvent yourself is terrifying.
Yeah, like I have a brother. Oh, yeah. His birthday's today. Happy birthday.
Which brother's birthday is it?
My oldest.
Oh.
He's 41. And he has changed careers multiple times and been successful each time. I feel like in Japan, you don't have that opportunity just with how their work culture is. Like, you leave a company, you're blackballed. You're done.
Supposedly. Like, I'm sure there's instances where people can manage, but I mean, it's like in that video, like they talk about how there's a system and they go to like a job fair and they hire the new recruits, and if you're lucky, you get to work for Toyota and all this. And then in like Japanese companies, they tend to not promote people. I think this is fucking stupid. This is the worst system ever. They're like they often promote people based on seniority and not based on merit, which is just the dumbest fucking thing ever. That's like, oh, I could just be a total fuck off the entire time I'm at this company, and I don't have to do shit because you're gonna promote me anyway just because I'm old. Like, what? What the fuck? That is fucking crazy. Yeah. Talk about not promoting like people actually caring about like the work they do. That's just nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But that seniority thing exists because they know you're gonna be there your whole career, essentially.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Do
you have more talking points, Lady Anne-Marie? I see some more on here.
Yeah.
I do. But I saw that Andrew wanted to say something. So
he's very handsome, so go ahead.
Oh, I don't remember. Oh, I was going to say something to the effect of there is one of the reasons why you're seeing so many isekais these days is also another symptom or manifestation of this issue, because a lot of the characters in these isekais come from the system like this brutal Japanese work system sucks. I get to go to a world where I basically get to do this brutal Japanese system, but I'm at the top of it now. Kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like,
yeah, the role reversal.
Like that. I have all the power now.
Right.
I'm not, and I'm gonna make the perfect brutal system where it's happy for everybody, even though it's still brutal, but they all love me. And there's sometimes Tommy mommies with huge titties.
Like we'll talk about anime that involve Hikikomori later, but like I always think of jobless reincarnation. Like that's what jumps to mind.
Oh yeah, I think of that.
My boy Rudius, come on now.
That nasty guy in his room just being weird, and
he's pretty weird even in the show. I mean,
he gets better though.
He carries Roxy's panties with him in a shrine for the whole fucking show.
He's got mental illness for sure.
Now he's I don't want to give a spoiler, but yeah, he got well. Hikikomori definitely is a mental illness.
That's what I'm saying. He was a Hikikomori.
Yeah,
like he can't just he doesn't have a new brain.
Getting laid a lot now though. All the time.
Okay.
All the time.
So, was there? Yeah. So, are there any points you want to make?
Yeah, I want to talk about the system, which is best represented by the visual that I put there. So, one of the reasons why they think this particular author, Saito, thinks that it continues to be a problem is looking at like an ordinary system where the individual, the family, and the society are all supporting one another. So it's represented by a bunch of circles is the best way, and you can just go find it.
I got it on the screen too.
For those live listeners.
Oh, yay. So basically there are boundaries that are intersecting each of these realms. And what happens is when somebody retreats inward, they rely on their family to be that in between them and society. And you can see then the arrows are just kind of going the wrong way. And one thing we haven't talked about, I keep talking about communication because I think that's so important, not just to this particular issue, to the loneliness epidemic, to mental health, just like talk to somebody, communicate. And like, if you're being talked to, listen, or if you can't listen, try and get somebody to like get the like go to a professional for that. But the other thing that you touched on, Mitsuki, was internet overuse, which I didn't think about how that is just going to continue to drive this problem forward. Because instead of going back out into society, instead of exploring that, they'll just stay in their bubble and they'll just stay on the internet and they'll just keep that cycle going, and that's how they'll get their socialization. That's how they'll get their communication.
Yeah. You want to get philosophical for a second?
Yeah, let's do it.
Aren't so many of us all hikikomoris? You ever go to like the DMV or something, or like you're waiting in line and everybody's on their phone? Aren't we all just kind of shut into our phones? Like, so-and-so's on YouTube 14 hours a day. Like, that's not that different than being a hikikomori. You're just walking around and getting groceries, but you're still plugged in. You know what I mean? In a philosophical way, that is kind of the same thing.
It depends. I think there's a whole bunch of other factors that go into it, which makes it a lot worse. But also, maybe I'm just the worst example, because like I think I get the best of both worlds. I get to be social and a hikikomori. I live at home. Things are good. My mom cooks great food. I love it. But I also go out into society and I have no problem interacting with society. But I don't want to have to interact with society. I want to interact with society on my terms. So like on a bus, I don't want to talk to random people on the bus. I'd rather just look at my phone. But when I'm at a restaurant, I'll be very polite. I'll have a lot of conversation. If someone wants to have a conversation, I can overshare if I need to overshare. And even then, I could be, and if you didn't know this, if you're only a listener, I'm a black man. I could be standing there with my headphones on and looking with my hands in my pocket with this like dour look on my face, looking like I don't want to talk to anybody. And this like old lady or person or somebody will just come and be like, hey, can you help me with something? And I will help them, even though there was like 10 other people you could have asked. I don't know why you came to me.
You have that
I
face.
don't know why I'm telling this, but all I'm saying is that I don't think the phone thing is the same. Like, I could be looking at my phone and I'll still interact with that person. I'll still talk with people. And I think a lot of people are still willing to talk with people. I think it's just the phones make traveling so much easier. You could go back to, like, remember when people were reading books on buses? God, they were such hikikomoris.
Do you remember when people could read?
Don't get me started.
Okay. What else you got, Lady Emery?
Real quick to go over the violent outbursts, because I feel like this is the sensational news. This is the tea. This is some tea for.
I love it.
I know, Mitz, you love the tea. So, our most hikikomori violent. Maybe we wouldn't know. However,
Ted Kaczynski?
Was he Hikikomori?
He might be. That's a good example. I feel like that's a fun one. But if you look and you Google like Hikikomori kidnaps woman, you'll find these like sensational stories of like they'll just be like, oh, I'm so desperate for human companionship that they'll kidnap women off of the subway.
Jeez.
Or little like kids, and they'll bring them into their homes, and the parents clearly know, but again, to save face, so like the reason I bring this up is because you can find some very interesting stories out there. That is not the majority of stories. This is a mental illness that should be looked at, but it is kind of spicy to you when you do come across it, especially because I think if I can find the article, they mentioned this in the book. There was one person, so there have been murders attached to this where they violently, they have violent outbursts against their parents because they've gone to such a recession mode that they think that they're still a kid or a teen instead of seeing that they're now an adult. But the other thing is like I said, you'll see these moments where they just want a part of society. So they'll kidnap a small child or a girl, but then Japanese society doesn't really charge them with anything because they're almost embarrassed that this happened to them, which is fascinating to me.
Probably not a big enough sample size, but to really say definitively, in my opinion. But another example would be the Kawasaki stabbings that happened in 2019, where 3 people were killed, including the perpetrator, and 18 were injured. The perpetrator was an unemployed hikikomori. So that's a famous event. This shit just doesn't happen in Japan. When some guy stabs 2 people on the subway, and it makes national news. I don't know if it was on a subway or whatever, but it makes national news in Japan. Like in the States, oh, some guy stabbed somebody, like literally no one even hears about it. But like in Japan, it's like, holy shit, like, yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, just I think to bring back around, besides the communication, like you have a good point of be okay getting off your phone. If you don't want to talk to people, that's okay. I think I'll plug what Pancake and I always push: read a book. It's okay to go read physical media.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I do think to your philosophical discussion of are we all a little bit chronically online? Yeah. And I know it's a problem. I think that there are pros to it, but I think there are also a lot of cons, and I think the cons can be detrimental to our mental health, to even like our eyesight. I think they've pointed out that a lot more people are having poorer eyesight because they're looking at a screen this close instead of looking at things 20 feet away like they normally would. So go touch grass, talk to people, and if you can't rely on your parents, I feel like use the internet to reach out to a good source of like getting mental health help.
There are also some anime if you guys want to run through them. We already mentioned one, but there's quite a few others. So,
Yes.
Trying to think here.
Well,
like
the main one that everyone thinks about is like Welcome to the NHK, right? I haven't seen it personally, but it has a banger opening. I know that much. I've listened to the opening, which it follows, I think, a more hikikomori kind of style, and I know, Mitz, you have the note here that almost all of the ones we're about to mention are old anime. And I just saw the note above the anime involving Hikikomori. I think what happened is, instead of talking more about the social issue, they just started making isekais.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where
For
they
sure.
mention it and then go past it. That's why we don't have as many anime talking about it more directly. But you were going to say something? Sorry.
Not really. I mean, I think the biggest one on here besides NHK and Jobless Reincarnation might be Jellyfish Princess. I think that was a pretty popular one.
That's a good one.
No Game, No Life was big. Recovery of an MMO Junkie. I mean, that was a big one. Wasn't there a girl in... is that a spoiler? I don't know. Didn't Onani Master have a Hikikomori in it?
Kind of.
That's
a manga.
Yeah. One that we would recommend reading, which is surprising for me.
The bottom, yeah, that manga just keeps bringing surprises, doesn't it? Wow. So it's not a hard thing to find, like a giant list. If you're interested in knowing more about Hikikomori, you definitely shouldn't learn it from anime. But if you wanna combine two things and just see a Hikikomori and anime, you could.
If you want to go down the rabbit hole, like
You could look it
our
up.
dear sweet M and Mitsugi studying it in college, you can.
It's just amazing to me that they haven't solved this problem yet. They knew about this. Listen, I was in college like 16 years ago, and like they knew it was a big problem then, and they haven't done a fucking thing to fix it. I don't think they will. I don't think they're gonna fix it. So it's just gonna become a giant problem.
It's too bad. And the final thing for Losing Face is these people die, usually starving to death, unfortunately, in their homes. And then whatever family they have left is left with both the bill and apologizing to everyone. And that's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to see.
Yeah, I think to close this out, in Japan, I think we stayed near a Hikikomori. They had a mail slot in their door that was open, so you could push things through the mail slot and they wouldn't have to leave. But also I have like a German Shepherd nose right now. There was a smell that just emanated from that particular unit, and they had like signs on the door, and it was kind of sad.
Don't know, cannot confirm nor deny, but the German Shepherd knows. Never lies, supposedly, or something.
Yeah. So Merry Christmas. I hope that filled everybody's hearts.
I told you it was going to be a black
Christmas
pill
cheer.
conversation. There's nothing happy about Hiki. There's no silver lining. I don't know what it is. I don't think there is one.
They gave us a lot of isekai animes.
Oh.
It's not the silver lining,
And
but
go,
they gave us some
and go get
solid
mental
ones.
health.
Yeah, get
Go talk to
mental
a
health.
therapist. They're good for you.
Yep. Check your insurance. It's almost a new year. See if it's covered.
And yay, Rudius. Who wants to read the in-show trivia question?
It's in pink for Lady Emery.
Oh, wow.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah.
boy. Okay. In the anime The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity, what sort of sweet treat does Subaru Oshina like? Find out after the break.
Hey, Anime Addicts, this is Mitsugi, and I'm bringing you your anime news. Getting started, we have some Uma Musume, because it's always in the news every week, it seems like. Uma Musume fans have raised $675,000 to build a retirement home for a racehorse, which I don't know much about this racehorse, but I have to imagine it is potentially from the anime in some capacity. I don't know. Otherwise, maybe the fans of the anime and game series just have a soft spot for racehorses. But there is a promo art featuring a very cute-looking horse girl next to the horse itself, so maybe this horse was modeled after her, and the white stripe down its nose does seem to maybe indicate as much. So the power of the Uma Musume fans knows no limits as they raise over $500,000 for a racehorse. Next up in the news, the manga Siren, which came out in 2007, is getting a TV anime in 2026, almost 20 years later. It's going to be done by Studio Satellite and directed by Katsumi Ono. Mao opened an official website for the TV adaptation of this manga, and which was essentially the announcement that they made. The story follows Yoshina is a self-confident high school student who helps others for a fee, and on his way back from a job, he finds a strange calling card with the word Siren imprinted left behind in a phone booth and decides to keep it, unaware of its purpose. And the very next day, he discovers that his classmate Amamiya has the exact same calling card in her possession. When he questions her, she asks him to save her, signaling the day his troubles begin. So there's a lot of conversation going on about this online, so you might want to check it out. Siren, the shonen manga, getting made into a TV anime. Next up, the Netflix anime Sakamoto Days is getting a second TV anime using some promo art that is straight lifted out of the movie Redline, which if you've seen that is somewhat hilarious. Produced by TMS Entertainment, this first season came out in 2025. I believe it was a pretty big hit. The manga has sold 15 million copies worldwide. And if you're a fan of Sakamoto Days, you're going to be getting more of this. I have to imagine it's going to be coming out next year, as it was announced now. Also, if you want to get the manga, Viz Media licenses the manga for English, and most of those are already out, so you can check those out as well. So look forward to more Sakamoto Days coming out here pretty soon. In some other news, Akatsuki no Yona, or Yona of the Dawn, is having its manga ended. The 16-year run of this manga is going to conclude in the second to 2026 issue of Hanato Yume, which is going to be coming out here pretty soon. So this is, I don't know, it's already got a TV anime out. You can watch it. It came out from Studio Pierrot in the fall of 2014. It was 24 episodes long, which is pretty lengthy. There are also 3 OVAs that were released between 2015 and 2016. So if you're a fan of Yona of the Dawn, you haven't watched the anime yet, well, you can always go watch it. It'll give you some, refresher on what you read from the manga, but obviously Yona of the Dawn is coming to a close here. And lastly, the manga Tetsunabe no Jan is getting a TV anime as well in 2026, and this one also getting quite a bit of conversation online. Coming out from Studio Troika, director is A. Aoki of Fate Zero, so that might turn a couple heads. So this original comedy manga ran in Shonen Champion from 1995 to 2000, so pretty old. 27 volumes in print, so there's a lot of content to be had here. The synopsis is about a cocky, arrogant teenager who wants to fulfill his grandfather's wish of defeating his arch nemesis, Mutsuju Gobancho. When he arrives at the Gobancho restaurant, he meets his grandfather, Kiriko Gobancho. Their rivalry is easily compared to their grandfathers, and he believes cooking is about competition, and Kiriko believes cooking is about heart. So it's a cooking shonen show, another Food Wars perhaps. We'll have to see when this one comes out in 2026 as well. This was me, Tsugi, and this was your anime news break, and as always, it's time to get back to the podcast. Hey, Anime Addicts. Well, I bring this message to you every week, but the podcast does need your support. We do our best to keep this show running every week to get you entertained throughout your busy work week. But hey, things are expensive and we need support. So if you want to help out the podcast, do a good thing, get all of our bonus content, you can go to AAAPodcast.com/join or Patreon.com. It does help us out a lot. We do have quite a lot of expenses to keep this thing running, mostly IT-related expenses. But we do appreciate everything you can do for us. If you can't afford to offer any money to the podcast, you could at least tell a friend about the show. But if you do support the show, you're going to be getting our hentai episodes, our hobby addicts, and our after parties, where we do keep you updated on what's going on in hentai. We do get a little raunchy sometimes, and we do talk about what our hobbies are in our personal lives, which usually results in a lot of movie and video game talk. So if you're interested in all that, AAAPodcast.com/join or Patreon will get it to you. Help out the podcast, and we'll continue carrying you as well. In the anime Fragrant Flower blooms with dignity, what sort of sweet... I'm not gonna say... Sweet treat, really?
It's a sweet treat.
What are we, 4?
It's a sweet treat.
No,
Yeah.
it's just a
sweet treat.
What kind of dessert does Subaru Hoshina like?
Donuts.
Donuts. Oh shit. All right. Okay, we're gonna get to that review in just a second because it's coming up. But we're gonna do a extremely quick mailbag.
Time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime.
Mailbag. Like I got this one. If you want to leave a mailbag, AAAPodcast.com/mailbag. Michael Skornavaka. This is like my third or fourth mailbag, but I've been listening since I found you guys, I think in 2020. Thank you for the entertainment. I have been slowly listening to every past episode, so I have a quick question on when you decided to change calling it sessions to episodes and why. I like the idea of calling them sessions. I still call them that. I have a document right here that I keep notes on. What does it say at the top, Pancake?
Session 809.
That's what it says. Yeah, so we called them sessions because it's like, I don't know, you're in therapy. You're at an AAA meeting because you are an anime addict and it's your 809th session. So you like calling them
That's cute.
sessions. You like that better?
I think it's cute. I didn't know that.
Well, I don't know why we changed it to episodes. Probably because sessions
Back
just...
in the early podcast days, you kind of had to. You didn't want to just call them episodes. A lot of podcasts from that started around that time had names for their episodes that weren't episodes, if I remember correctly.
You would know, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I've been listening to this podcast probably around since about its inception.
Did you know that?
I was listening to.
Go ahead. Say it.
Oh no, I was listening to. I forget what Soul Bro Ryu's podcast.
Gundam at MAHQ.
Yeah, not outside of Gundam. There's the other one. I forget what it was. I was listening to that as well as Gundam. And then when you guys did your Gundam crossover, I was like, well, I'm out of podcasts now. I caught up on all of the Soul Bro Ryu podcasts. I guess I'll start listening to this anime podcast. And look where I am, like, God, 18 years later, it feels like. It's not 18 years.
They're doing Gundam episodes again.
Yeah.
They are. They're doing them again.
I'd like to do that.
Anyway, sorry I don't have a better answer. I don't know. We can call them sessions again if it's bothering you. I don't really think it doesn't matter. All right, now time for Pancake's favorite anime of all time.
I wouldn't say all time.
The Fragrant Flower blooms with dignity. Why is this in green? This is mine? Okay.
You're better at reading because I can't see it from
I'm not
here.
going to read this shit because that is boring for the listeners. So
You gotta-
Fine, I'll read it.
No, don't read it.
Do you want to
re-
read it, Pancake?
No.
No. I want everybody to say the characters' names like they say them in the dub.
Oh, the dub is fucking terrible. Let's just do this review. Okay, listen. I watched this on Netflix. This is essentially about an anime with Rintaro, who goes to a school that's for boys, and then there's a girl named, what the fuck is her? Kaoruko Waguri, who goes to a very prestigious girls' school that is nearby the boys' school, and a love blooms over cake, I guess. She sees the boy at the cake shop, and then she starts to frequent the cake shop, and a romance blooms between these two people that are from sort of different worlds. And
For once, we're following the boy's perspective. He is the love interest for once, which is interesting, seeing it flipped. And he's a little bit... He was bullied a lot when he was younger, so he's a little withdrawn and a little shy, and he looks scary. He's tall, has bleached hair and piercings. He looks like a Yankee, so that adds into his whole demeanor. And like Mitsugi says, this love blooms fragrantly.
Who put this synopsis in here? Where did this come
but
from?
I just grabbed it from
exactly.
the internet.
Yeah, so someone describes this as a Romeo and Juliet style romance.
I agree because of
really?
the school rivalry.
It starts off as that.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it doesn't hold up for very long, does it? The school rivalry thing comes and goes pretty quick.
I'll put it this way. When I first started watching the show, like the first few episodes, there's this TikTok meme where it's like every friend group should include a bimbo, a mean bisexual, an even meaner lesbian, a token straight who hasn't realized they're bisexual, and a short king. I don't remember the entire thing. And I was like, oh no, an astrology bitch who knows everybody's sign and a short king. And I could basically assign one of these characters to each one of those. And then halfway through the show, it just didn't fit anymore. So I just didn't go with the meme. But yeah.
And then we'll move on. I just don't agree with that. It's Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Juliet's a tragedy. And like, unless everyone's going to die in this show, I don't think
when people say Romeo and Juliet, they're not referring to the whole story.
Are they referring to them?
They're referring to the forbidden love.
Are they referring to them diving on each other and making out furiously within the first 6 minutes of seeing each other?
No, they're
exactly.
referring
It's
to
anime, they're obviously not.
They're referring to forbidden love.
Yeah, it's real forbidden. Except all right, we'll get to it. Oh, Pancake's all mad already.
This is from Cloverworks, which has done a lot of anime that you've seen. Like, what is it? Spy Family, Bocchi the Rock, the Darling and the Fran XX.
Cloverworks has done a lot of stuff. They're very Promised Neverland. You know, a lot of the Fate animes.
Season.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Exactly.
There's only one season of Promised Neverland.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Yes, exactly. Anyway, so this is based on a manga. So Pancake, you'd love this. You'd love this manga. So what were your expectations?
I was just excited to see it get animated because I enjoyed it so much, and I was excited to share it with you because you won't read manga, especially a shoujo. So this is an opportunity for us to watch it together and enjoy a property I really liked.
It's not that I won't read manga. I mean, there's no fucking way I have time to do that. But anyway.
Yeah, regardless of the reason, I was excited for it because I enjoyed it, and I was excited to share it with you and then everybody else on the podcast.
Lady Emery, did you also read the manga?
I did. I really love this series, so I was excited to see it animated, especially with it coming from Cloverworks. I tend to like their animation style. So, yeah, I was looking forward to it. Unrelated, I told Pancake I was going to take this hot cocoa bear and sacrifice it. So I'm going to do that for my sweet treat. This is my sweet treat.
A sweet treat.
Wouldn't you like a sweet treat? Oh,
so yes,
I'd like a sweet treat.
This anime was a sweet treat for me.
Yeah, it's definitely sugary sweet.
Andrew, did you also read this?
No, I've not read the manga. I don't really read manga in general anymore. Unless it's like maybe a physical copy I'll pick up every now and then, or I go back and reread. Again, I'm like 5 to 10 years behind on One Piece apparently, and I didn't even realize it happened. But no, so my initial thoughts going into this is I knew nothing about this. I didn't see the impression. I wasn't on the Impressions episode for this. I didn't see the Impressions episode for this. I knew nothing about this except for it was an image. It was like a rom-com, and Pancake was excited about it. And Pancake, it's not that Pancake is never excited about this.
How does that feel to you as a Canadian?
Ew,
There's
I don't.
No real maple.
Well, any non-Canadian maple syrup is just heresy to me, so.
It's that kind of Hungry Jack that you microwave and the little sticker on the side it says that it's ready and hot.
We don't even own that.
All right, I'm just saying.
We own pure
the truth
maple
comes
syrup.
Out. It's wow, jeez.
Don't lie on my name.
I didn't know that.
Well, we all know how I feel. When I visited, I brought maple syrup.
It was very good.
And I drank every drop of it.
Yeah, so
next
time I visit, I'll bring some more.
Thank you. I'd love that. So I knew nothing about this anime. So when your wife gets excited and she's like, "Oh, I want to watch this rom-com with you," you pretty much have to do it, right? So yeah, so that's what happened. Who am I to deny Pancake her simple pleasures? As she shrugs.
You see, this is the benefit of having multiple husbands and wives.
I know. I have all of my harem here to talk about a show I wanted to watch.
Pancake, would you recommend this?
Absolutely. If you like shoujo, sugary sweet, anime, this is for you. I feel like we're coming back into an era with good shoujo, and this one just hits everything I want.
Be hitting.
And it doesn't have any of the really annoying tropes of miscommunication or does he, doesn't he. It's just straightforward, good character development. I just feel like it has everything that you could want.
Wow.
So
5
I
out of
would-
5 coming from Pancake.
I would recommend it.
Lady Emery, what about you?
Yes, just don't do the dub. Oh my god, this dub.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
just stay away
It's
from
terrible.
the dub.
One of the worst I've seen in a long time, and usually Netflix does.
What does he say? They fuck that one guy's name up every single time.
Yeah. But
was-
yeah, usually I don't mind a Netflix dub, but like this one was so bad. It's not Banana Fish AI dub bad, but it's not good.
I'm looking for that drop right now. It's probably
Okay.
not needed. Okay. Keep going.
But yeah, that said, it's a very cute anime. I think the relationships feel very real to me. I loved the communications. Even the missteps with communication felt real. And I think it really captures that first love feeling without drawing out too much of the will they, won't they.
Friggy. Christmas Friggy.
Yeah. So I do recommend this show. Obviously, any recommendations come with the caveat it's not for everyone, clearly. But it's a good, fun rom-com. And I would almost liken it to Kimi ni Todoke, or From Me to You, I think is what the English title is. And it had very reminiscent feelings where the characters are refreshingly introspective for high schooler romance anime, and they conversate their feelings very directly, which is something that a lot of the problems with a lot of rom-coms is that they're not talking about their actual feelings more often than not. And while that is one of the tropes in the show is like a lack of communication, it's one that isn't drawn out for so long that it becomes pénible. I can't remember the English word. Terrible, like annoying. Something to that effect.
They're not belaboring it. Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, essentially, it does. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't fall into the typical. It does, and it doesn't fall into the typical misunderstanding tropes that make, like I said, these rom-coms painful, and that's why I think I would recommend this, because it also doesn't overstay its welcome in terms of, like, it's a nice solid 13 episodes. If there's a season 2, we'll see, but for now I would recommend it. It was an enjoyable watch. Yes.
So I'm gonna say the anime was fine, but I want to talk about some things that aren't spoilers, so we can.
Well, where's your recommendation?
It's fine. Like, I might recommend it to some people. There are romance anime I like better,
Okay.
basically, but it's fine. So I think the art in this anime is one of the best things about it. So it just is so nostalgic of past decades of anime that I really enjoy. Man, the one kid with the red hair, I really thought his character design. He's not in the show enough, by the way. What the hell is his name? Usami, who they say is Usumi.
That drove me
God.
crazy in the dub.
These fucking people.
Usumi-kun.
These fucking people are just like.
Usami.
I mean, literally, like, small rant. It's like, I got these dub people complaining about how, like, oh, you're going to use AI and you don't pay us enough. You literally can't even fucking pronounce the easiest goddamn name after it's your fucking job. Study the show, read the manga. How can you F this up? How can you mess it up? It's Usami.
They should westernize all the name. They should just westernize all the name.
They
I
missed
want me
the-
some Brad and some Jack and some Toms.
God damn, it's not
Joey
we're-
maybe
We're not
throw in
speaking
there.
Polish here, or or like Hebrew. It's Japanese. It's easy to pronounce. It has 5 vowel sounds. It's
very
Usami.
phonetic.
Jesus in heaven. And then like Kaoruko, they fucked her name up too.
And Rintaro.
God, they fucked them all up.
So
you're gonna complain about your job. You can't even do it properly.
But
anyway,
yeah, back
so,
to the
to
the look of it.
Yeah, so
I also enjoyed it because
Yeah.
and that's one of the things I really liked about the manga too was it doesn't have this new I don't even know how to kind of like Instagram face, but for like anime characters, if that makes sense, where the characters still have different features and look unique, a little not rough, but I don't know.
It's hard for me to describe. I think this anime
More 90s style, I guess, more early 2000s style, and I enjoy that.
Yeah.
I like that look better than this new Instagram face type of anime character.
Yeah, I feel like the art was a little like when I look at this image, like the art is a little. It's not that it's flawed; it's like intentionally not perfect. I don't know how to put it exactly, but it definitely resembles more of a cell era when anime looked like it was hand drawn. So I really appreciate that a lot about this show. I liked Rintaro quite a bit. He's not a pussy like a lot of these other characters in these rom-coms, although he is an insane Mary Sue, like to the 1000th degree. I thought, we'll talk about the ending. I thought it was pretty good. I'm kind of interested to see what you guys think, but my main complaint with this anime is that everybody in this anime is a Mary Sue. It got really annoying for me around episode 11. Everything is just, everybody is so fucking polite and just, oh my God, I'm sorry. Did I do this to you? Oh, thank you so much. Oh, I'm not worthy, but thank you. Oh my God, thank you so much for thinking. Everybody is just obsessed with glazing each other in this anime. It is so intolerable.
There are also Japanese.
God, though, it's like, holy fuck, they're not real people. They literally glaze each other.
They're anime characters. So.
They're Japanese anime characters.
I'm not on the same page with that at all.
It can be a little bit much because it is so sugary sweet, but I do really enjoy Rintaro's arc of realizing he likes a girl. I like how they did that because you don't usually. It's like, oh, he just likes her. He has to like think about it, and he's like, what are these feelings? What am I going through? Like, I really enjoyed the introspection and being in his brain, and how him being bullied impacted him throughout his schooling career and opening up to friends and, you know, meeting a girl. Like, it was just. His character, to me, you may say he's a Mary Sue, but I think he's flawed in his own way. And like my youngest brother, he was bullied a lot in school. So I kind of see my younger brother in this character a little bit. Because, you know, when he was growing up, he liked to dress, you know, he had an older sister. I was like a little emo scene kid, so he also wanted to do that. So he got made fun of and was called the F word and like gay and like picked on a lot. So he is a little bit withdrawn as a person because that really impacted him throughout his life. But he is very introspective and very kind. And so I give a little grace for this character because I know somebody like that, you know?
I also, to that point, liked how well paced this was.
Yeah.
It wasn't that he would second guess himself in the beginning, but as the confidence builds for him, as the confidence builds for other characters, it actually continues to move forward instead of what a lot of shoujo does, which is 2 steps forward, 1 step back, or 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. It was just really enjoyable to see that this was well paced, and it matched how the manga is well paced, because I would have been really upset if they had stretched out more of the scenes because I feel like you could have done that to be, you know, to milk it for all it's worth, to try and like get the most out of it. And I just really appreciated seeing that growth in specifically our main characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about the OP and the ED a little bit.
I didn't like them.
You didn't like the OP and ED?
I like the visuals.
Bridgie's so shocked.
But I didn't really jive with them. I wasn't really
Why?
minding that Netflix was skipping it for me.
Oh, damn.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't listen to every single OP. I didn't listen to the OP every single time.
Oh, okay.
I don't listen,
Mhm.
but I did listen to it a couple of times, which is like still like a solid. This is no banger where I'm listening to it every time. But it is a fun one. I did enjoy listening to it. The song is really fun. I love the visuals in the OP. I like the song. It's very fitting as an ED song, and a song is really fitting as an ED song when you can play it over what's happening. Like, it's not a spoiler, but in episode 11 they're basically playing it over the ending of the episode, and it fits very well with like the thematics of what's happening and the mood and everything like that. And you're like, yeah, I get it, I like it. So I'm not going to say that they were bangers, don't get me wrong, but these were definitely like, it was a solid OP and a solid ED, and the visuals that accompanied it made it really work.
I can agree with that. I just skipped them because they didn't grip me. They didn't hold me. They didn't hold me tight in the night to where I needed to, enjoy
Tight in the
them.
night.
But I did like the visuals,
Cat in the
especially
Hat.
for the ED. I like how they did that. I thought that was really pretty.
It's just one quick question, because you guys mentioned the dub a bunch. Did you guys exclusively watch the dub for the whole show, or did you guys
Sadly.
after
We
like
watched.
switch over?
Yeah.
I only watched it subtitled, and when my thing screwed up, I caught a bit of the dub and it didn't sound terrible, but that's because I didn't hear them say anybody's name, and it was for like a minute. But sorry, you were gonna say?
Yeah, so we watched the first few episodes in Japanese when it was first coming out, and then before the dub came out, we watched a couple more, but finishing the show, we watched it dubbed, and there was actually a couple points where Mitz switched back over to the sub to hear them speaking.
Well, because I wanted to see if they were butchering all the names in Japanese, and
They were not.
They were not.
And the dub is just definitely lacking emotion and just pronunciation of basic Japanese names. And that just it just really irks me. Like, you have one job, read this name correctly when
You had one job.
so it just, I don't know. And I look at subtitles even if I have the dub on, because I can't hear without my subtitles. So me reading it and reading the names correctly and then hearing somebody say it was just driving me fucking crazy. And I hated the mom's voice in the dub especially.
I can't even remember what she said. She wasn't in it very much.
It was just so flat affect.
You guys want to go to spoilers?
Oh, well, I had
Go ahead.
one last thing, because there's not really much to spoil anyway in this. But
Not really.
There is and there isn't, but it'll lead to some more character stuff. So I think maybe, I don't know if the listening to dub may have ruined it a little bit, but I think there's something that the original Japanese dub does that I think also works. And it's really subtle, and I only really thought about it now when you guys were talking about the dub, is that I think the characters bring up this uncertainty, like this earnest uncertainty when they're doing their characters, when they're voicing their characters, which I think added to a lot of what I enjoyed about it. Like, it didn't feel like this cloying uncertainty. It didn't feel like this annoying uncertainty. It just felt like this almost earnest, like, confusion about what's happening. Like, the voice actors, I think, really brought that out in a very natural, affecting way, and I think that may have helped with the viewing experience. So if that doesn't happen, if you don't get that from the dub, I can see how you might lose also a lot in translation in that kind of way as well.
I think you're absolutely right. And I think that goes back to Mitsugi feeling like they are glazing each other all the time. Because if you're listening to it in English, we do not speak this way to each other. Where in Japanese, it comes off a little bit more natural. Like in Japan, when you give somebody a gift, you say, "This is not exciting. It's nothing." Whereas in English, it wasn't even translated that way. you know, and it feels different, and it's interesting how just changing the language can change the feeling, and
it may be better as a sub.
I think it is,
but
I think I would recommend the sub over the dub for sure.
Unfortunately, adapting the translating of the Japanese to English is part of the anime. So, and if you're gonna watch the dub, so yeah, I mean, I don't know. You'll see what I mean. It's hard to describe. I don't want to go off on it too long. There's not a single character in this anime that isn't less than just hyper fucking friendly. They're all friendly as shit. Every single, even the girl that's real shy, like the green-haired girl or whatever. What the hell is her name?
Subaru.
Subaru. Even she is just like basically comes around once a very brief conversation occurs, and everybody else is just like they fucking love everything.
Well,
it's just everybody and everything is great all the time. So that's whatever. It might be the dub.
I think the dub. I think the dub also impacted Saku, because Saku is. I don't think he translated well in the dub. At all.
No, I don't think so.
He sounds kind of despondent. He's kind of like, oh.
Yeah, and he's a little bit more in the manga, and he's just a little bit more withdrawn, kind of similar to Rintaro, but in a different way. And I don't think that came through on the dub or in the first season, really.
He comes across as like having no empathy, so like just having apathy instead of being cynical. And I think there is a key difference there.
Absolutely. So.
Spoilers?
Spoilers.
Spoilers are coming. Oh my god.
All right. So what's considered a spoiler?
I want to start.
I'm going to talk about the. Oh, you can go.
You go.
Vince.
You go
I
ahead.
have one.
Oh, I was going to start.
Okay, I want to talk.
All right, go ahead. Fuck it.
Ladies first.
Well, now I'm curious. Oh, okay, fine. I was going to talk about the retcon on Kakoru and Rentaru's first meeting. I think that took away the original premise for me, and it made her a little creepy, a little stalkerish. And that's how it plays out in the manga, and didn't like it back then either. I know it all works out. Yes, and like it's actually kind of creepy. If he didn't like her, this would then be a thriller horror manga. And I liked their meet cute the first time around, and I don't know why they had to act. It did nothing for me.
Yeah, I didn't like her reasoning for going back and back to the bakery at all. Because I could see it, because I could see something like that happening. Like you have like a gym crush, right? And you see your gym crush all the time, and you're trying to find a way to like speak to your gym crush. If you're a girl, you know, like, oh, he's in here all the time, blah, 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 blah. But she goes just like on a whim one time, and then she's like, this is the guy. This is it. I'm going to find a reason to come a couple times a month until I talk to him and make him fall in love with me because I'm cute. I had straight hair before, but I'm going to curl my hair. I don't know anything about him, but
I wear makeup every time.
Yep, I'm going to change my whole thing to get his attention.
It's very Japanese.
Yeah.
Let's talk about those two schools.
You had no comments on the stalker because you brought that up like every single episode we watched.
I mean, I think she stalked him, but ultimately, like, I don't really want to get into a conversation about like men's and women's likeliness to be accepting to advances. Like, he was never going to turn her down, ever. So it would not have worked the other way. If she had worked, you know what I mean? I don't want to get into that conversation. He was never going to turn down Kaoruko. Let's be honest. A cute girl that's your same age likes you and comes into your cake shop. It's a 100% guarantee that he was down with it, or he would be.
I mean, what if he had another girgirlfend? What if he's just
maybe
not
he
into
did.
Girls? There's like, you know,
Japan,
there's
though.
could have been thing.
It's
just,
Japan, though, you know. It's like, you know.
it was just such a silly thing to take away from the original.
Well, I did pick it up immediately. I was like, this girl just goes to this shop every fucking day because she likes cake. Yeah, right. Oh, yeah. She likes cake, but You know, she ain't, although there was one scene where she had like 16 cakes in front of her, and I was just thinking, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
That was the first episode.
way too, was
Same,
it?
girl.
Way too much
same.
cake. Anyway, but it's like, yeah, it didn't bother me all that much. I mean, I really think if Japan has these like separate schools for boys and girls, right, in this anime and in real life, and it obviously creates this weirdness when they're really close to each other. Like in this anime, they're literally 100 feet apart, and they're looking at each other through the windows, and it's like, of course it's going to be weird.
No, they're not, because the girls' school hates the boys' school.
She
so
literally
they
saw
closes the
him.
windows.
She literally saw him looking out the window.
Yeah, because she was peeking, because
Uh-huh.
nobody else was at school yet, so it was fine to peek out the window.
And so you're basically agreeing with me, because if you're saying that it's so weird that they can't even look at the other building, they're fucking stigmatizing the entire concept that there's another school there. So of course there's going to be
Absolutely.
yeah. So no surprise, Japan isn't having any babies. Let's abolish the single gender schools and just make them co-ed. But like, I thought that the revelation that kind of opened up Subaru's personality with the biggest Mary Sue in the show, which is Usami, where he's like, we don't really care that you're the other school. We love everybody because you're here and you're our age. And yeah, we'll have some tea and cookies.
Usami has 5 brain cells and is a golden retriever.
That's
I
fine.
don't know what to tell you.
That's fine, but the scene was nice because it literally dissolved the entire stigma between the two schools, and that was holding down Subaru as a character.
Yeah.
And sure, her eyes were like, oh my god, like that moment changed her life basically. When she realized that the boys didn't feel the same way that all that, like, maybe the stigma would suggest, and that they're all just kids that are the same age and let's all have cookies. Like, she was just totally blown away by that. That was a great scene for me.
I don't know if I fully agree with that, because it does come up again later on in the beach episode where she still has these uncertainties, and it's the other Sua? No. Or Saku? I forget which one.
Saku.
Yeah, who basically kicks some water at her, and he's like, look, bitch, if I wasn't going to be your friend, I wouldn't be here right now, so just chill the fuck out. It's basically what he said.
A better dub than the actual dub. I would have loved to have the dub actor actually say those lines.
Honestly, it would be pretty hilarious, to be fair. But that's that's basically what I read into it when he does that. And he says it way sweeter and much nicer, but in that very way that I also kind of like agree. It's like, look, I identify a lot with Saku sometimes in the show, because I'm just like, look, I'm that kind of mean bitch sometimes where I'll just say things like this. But hey, look, if I didn't want to be here, I wouldn't be here.
Or bring you donuts.
Have resting bitch face.
Delicious sweet treat donuts.
Sweet treat.
Yeah.
My problem, and I'm kind of curious if anyone has any knowledge about this with the school rivalry. Does that really exist in Japan, that like schools get so hung up? Because to me, like some of those girls was like, why are you letting these boys you don't know take up real estate in your brain? You got more important things to worry about. Worry about your test scores. Worry about something else other than this school across the way.
Yeah, we talked about that. Don't worry about having a normal social life and propagating the population of our country. You have to study fucking whatever so you can go to high school. And Jesus Christ, no wonder they're all hikikomoris. No, I have never experienced that in Japan in real life, but I don't know that it does not exist.
Yeah, because you were more with young kids, right?
Yeah, I was with young kids, and they don't care.
Okay.
I don't think it's really a thing as much, or very rare. Like, so bad that she drops a napkin and or handkerchief, and the guy picks it up, and she's like, I don't need it anymore. It's just like, it's that bad. I don't know.
Throw it away. It's trash. Like calm down.
The disdain that these girls looked at these boys with was wild. Like, I get Subaru because obviously
she was bullied,
trauma with bullies, and she just has that like Ice Queen type personality look. But some of these girls were just like, damn, you are looking at like these guys like killed your dog or something like that. Holy shit, it is like, I did not think someone could look down on someone so much.
Yeah.
Look, but yeah. I guess one of the things.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, because we haven't really talked about like the main relationship a lot in the show. We've talked a lot around the main stuff of the show, but what were your thoughts on the main relationship? I guess we kind of did, but like on the main relationship and how that kind of resolves towards the end of the show.
I really enjoyed it. I like the build up. I like the texting back and forth, and I really enjoyed the calling each other and showing the anticipation and like the just excitement and like embarrassment of it all. That was really cute because it's like I remember feeling that way. Like any relationship, whether you be in high school or like when you start talking to somebody new, like that feeling, they captured that so well. Or their first date.
It's called being bricked up. Oh, sorry. That's something different. It's called Hatsukoi. Right? We learned that word. You're giving me this look of that a potential murderer would have. Hatsukoi means first love.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree though. This like nailed, especially when you're first trying to call and the other person calls. Like, just I think that's something that everyone's been through, and like I just really enjoyed the anticipation, and I thought it was really well done. And the text messages between everyone felt so real to me. You have one who might be like mass texting or, you know, throwing stickers or, you know, whatever in there. And then you have another person who is too formal, which is some of the weirdest text messages I've gotten where I'm like, look, I might use a comment. Why are you using a period? In my AOL instant messenger brain, are you mad? Are you mad? Don't use ellipses at me. I'm going to interpret that.
It's like when my boss texts me and she puts like my name, comma, and then I'm like, this is a text message, not an email.
How do you know if the guy emailing you or girl is old as shit? They're putting ellipses after their sentences.
Yeah, for real.
Much, yeah.
Yep, 100%.
Well, thanks for calling me out, guys.
Also, really, I really liked after Rintaro gives Karuko the cake and he's just waiting for her to try it, and his parents are discussing, like, I loved that whole interaction. And then when she texts him and wants to call him, just him sprinting to his room because he's embarrassed, and like just all of it, their interactions together is just so sweet, and her wanting him to do well and get to know him as a person, and him realizing he doesn't know a whole lot about her except for that she loves cake, and he's like, well,
that he supposedly what she really likes is him
and cake. She likes cake boys.
Does he like cake?
That was probably, other than possibly the last episode, that might have been the best episode in the season, the cake episode. It was a very they did a lot.
Cake?
They did a lot in the episode, and it was like a tight little cohesive, small little story segment that was done really well, and it ended pretty much in the same episode. So it was extremely tight, and there was no waste, and it conveyed a lot of information, and it was just really good.
And seeing his parents seeing his parents be so proud of him from like how far he's come, and that was just really great too. I just love the development of
parents.
Yeah, having parents.
I do think this anime. Go ahead.
Oh no, I just know I saw Pancake put it on there too. We finally got moms and dads. They exist. No one's dead. Everyone's there. It's kind of refreshing.
Super supportive.
I think this anime has one of the more realistic romances you're going to see in anime, and honestly, I mean, particularly because of Rintaro, because who knows how long this would have gone on if Kaoruko was in charge of things. It
wouldn't have happened because Rintaro, I think, was actually on a track to possibly become a hikikomori, or just work at his parents' cake shop and avoid society forever.
He realizes that he's got a crush on her. This is very realistic stuff. He realizes he has a crush. It takes him a while to work up the nerve to say something. So he carries that with him for a while. Then he finally tells her and, admits that he likes her. And then they have which is probably the most unrealistic part about it, an actual, like, somewhat adult conversation for people that are so young. And that's it. Like, we didn't have to, like, fuck around with a handhold for 27 it's not giving us the dress up darling action where, like, those two should have been going at it, like, on episode 3, and it's just never going to occur. That's not even a romance anime at this point. They actually did it. It was the focus. They executed it accurately, and it worked.
And it didn't even need the whole hand-holding kiss thing, I think, to be fulfilling for this arc or this stage in their relationship.
That said, I can't stand Kaoruko's obnoxious smile. I just want to slap her in the face as hard as I can.
Oh, okay.
She's got, like, they're trying to do, like, the Honey and Clover, like, 12-year-old girl, like, blushy cheek overload smile, and it just... does not work.
You're looking at the Cloverworks cute face. Like, that's just how Cloverworks animates a lot.
I just hate it.
Smiles. And going back to there's like a couple of things I want to say, and I know we're running long, but I love the parents in this because the fact that I thought his dad was dead for the longest time, and then his dad just comes into they basically make it sound like he has a dead dad. His dad shows up, and his dad is basically him.
Yep.
And it's great. And I just love the parenting in this because it's like a subtle supportive, in a way that's not overbearing. The mom, a lot of it is like seated, right? So when he's talking about his backstory with his mom, or you see him like old, or like he looks at a picture of his mom, she has black hair, and you're like, oh, what's the story there, right? And you find out is that she dyed her hair and got piercings because she knew that he wouldn't want to do it because because of the whole saving face personality, right? Meant to, as we just talked about in our previous segment. And so if I do it first, he'll actually feel comfortable doing it. And I'm okay with this because this is the first time I've seen him actually say he wants something. And I remember when he gave up on life, basically. And it was just really heartwarming, and I really thought that was, like, really nice. And when she sees him with his friends, and she's just basically like, oh my god, I can't. I'm about to die because you don't need me anymore, but, like, in the best way possible.
Yeah.
It was really heartwarming, and I really did enjoy that.
And to point out something a little bit fun of an Easter egg, because I knew the dad was coming, because you're right. You don't see the dad coming until in the manga later. You actually see the anime is smart enough to put him in the background. He's in the back cooking and baking, and you can be like, there's dad. There he is. And it's just
doing things.
It's very enjoyable for, like, the readers, because it's something I think for us of like, oh, I can't wait to get to that because he's such a proud dad, even if he's super overworked and exhausted. And I loved that whole cake making thing because he's both intense about cake making and just so proud that he gets to share that craft with his kid.
Yeah, and I think Rintaro and his dad are very similar. Like, they're just, like, a little bit more softer spoken. And I love when his dad's like, no, you're going to work every day in the cake shop. And he's like, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Oh, I even liked in the cake arc. The cake, like, I think Mitch is right. I think that is probably one of the best, if not the best episodes.
Oh, for sure.
The season. And I love that the first question he asked is, what emotion do you want to convey in the cake? And when he heard, and he's like, I want this. He's like, no, what feeling? And he's like, I want this feeling. And he's like, all right, well, you start tomorrow. I'm going to work you like a dog. Like, it's going to be crazy.
He's like, I don't know. I love the dad. Like, he is maybe the best anime dad we've had in a long time. He's super supportive, but he's just quirky and, like, hard, but in, like, the best way. I don't know. I will say I love how they ended the season because I think it was the pacing was great. I don't know where else they would have ended it, but just how they just left it off with just the confession and then gave us like all these slideshow pictures of them like doing things. I'm like, oh, so you're not going to give us anything else,
This
are
anime
you?
did have several lengthy montages of just straight still images where they were like, we're not going to animate for 4 minutes. We're just going to...
I'm talking about the ending, though.
Okay, well, that's what you're talking about, though, right?
No, I'm talking about I'm talking about the still images that they did for the ED, making it feel like the show is over a little bit.
Well, I'm sure it's not.
But I mean,
Honestly, I kind of would prefer it to be over.
really?
but it's
Because
probably
I really like the next arc. Because
Okay.
It's so good because he's like now found a passion for something other than existing and
Wow.
getting a girlfriend.
and there's
Well,
so much development, like
so much
because
to say.
all of the characters have their moment as it goes on.
It's because I worry with a season 2. It's
Okay.
like either it feels like the pacing gets off, or they try to introduce another love rival or something stupid like that. That's why I'm like, if we don't get any more, I really enjoyed what we got, and if they make a second season that's to the same quality as this season, I'll be happier. But I'm in a way, I'm afraid they won't make the second season as good. But you guys are saying it will, so if there is a second season, that sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's none of that annoying stuff so far. It's just they kind of move. They stop centering around just the main two, and they kind of go out and develop the other characters more and their relationships, and like it's more friendship and things like that, and growing as a person. And so I really want that because I really like, Saku and Usami and what have you.
The most realistic thing... I don't even want to say. If this anime continues with their realistic romance, the most realistic thing for two 15-year-olds or whatever to do would be to hang out for a while and then break up. Because they're not... that's
Basically.
Really, that's what's going to happen in about 8 weeks. Let's score it. We're definitely long. I'm just going to go first. I think this anime's fine. I don't like all the characters in it, unfortunately. Most of them are just like, some of them are just obnoxious. Like they're just too. They have no personality. Like Usami, I like the way he's drawn, but he's a terrible character. He's absolutely no personality whatsoever. So I'm gonna give this anime 4 times in the last 24 hours that I thought about the scene where Rintaro goes to his parents and says in the dub, just like this, "I want to dye my hair blonde and pierce my ears." Out of 5, because that shit was hilarious. I was dying. It's like, who says that? And then what parent lets their kid do that in Japan when he's 8? Oh my god, wild.
I'll go next.
Yep.
I think Pancake should end this off, to be honest.
Okay.
Because yeah. All right, so I'm gonna just quick fire through a couple of things. The teacher, one of the a really good teacher in anime. He clearly cares for his students. I think he's basically, and I haven't seen this anime, he cares for his students like Onizuka cares for his students without all of the other trappings of Onizuka. I would say
trappings.
But like like he's a delinquent and yada 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 and all that, kind of like a former delinquent. I think this teacher understands youth and he's very fair about it. And I think he in the few brief moments you see him as a side, you can tell that he really wants these kids to succeed, even though that might not be like the most obvious thing for them. And then I like the use of watercolor as their emotions are becoming more realized. I think that's like in an interesting way, a sort of subtle inversion of what you would think, because watercolors are kind of, and it's also very direct. Watercolors are very not defined as like a paint in a lot of ways, right? They kind of bleed a little bit, and it sort of feels like their emotions are bleeding out. So I really like, as they realize more and more that they, especially Rintaro realizes he might be in love, like they kind of like dab in different, like the watercolor paint in the background, even though they don't do anything with that more specifically. I think that's like a really nice analogy / metaphor. And then I liked all the side characters, and I liked all the side characters. I even like those 2 bakery employees who had like one line each, because they're just silly that they have one line each in this entire whatever. I want to give this anime 4.5. Every friend group should include a bimbo, a mean bisexual, an even meaner lesbian, an astrology bitch who has everyone's birth chart memorized, and a short king. Out of 5.
Awesome. All right. Well, I really liked this. The main criticisms I have, I think everyone shared, primarily the dub. Sometimes the drama was there just because they needed to build some sort of tension. And the only reason this isn't getting a perfect score for me, because I really enjoyed the romance, is unfortunately the dub. Have a better dub. You need to make this available so that I can recommend this to anyone whether they want to watch sub or dub. So I'm going to give this 4 out of 5 piercings.
I really enjoyed this. I hope we get a season 2. I could continue to gush about it all day. But I'm going to have to take a little bit off for the dub because the dub is atrocious. Don't watch the dub. Go watch the sub.
Oh, come on. You don't have to do that. It's just the dub. Fuck it.
So I'm going to give it 4.5
You should've given it
pieces of cake out of 5.
Oh, man. I'm rubbing off on Pancake. That should have been a 5 for you. You should just do it. It's okay.
Change your
I'm just
rating,
saying, the
change it
dub doesn't
around.
matter. They're all going to be AI within 5 years anyway.
4.5 out of 5 is a really great score.
It is really great.
It is a good score.
It was a good anime. It deserves
great.
a good score.
I really hope
So
we
I
get a
guess
season
our
2.
average score is 4.5. Wait, what did you give it again, Lady Emery? You gave it 4.5 as well. if
4.
I'm not mistaken, right?
That's,
You
yeah,
gave it 4. Oh, so it's a 4.25 then.
we round up. We round up around here.
So it's a 4.5.
Because we're nice. All right.
For whoever's managing the list.
Let's see here. Next time on the podcast, we are going to be doing a review on Kowloon Generic Romance. I will not be here.
It'll be your friends Mason, Raggedy, Caroline, and Otaku.
Yeah, they're going to play a trivia death game for you, so we'll see what that has in store. It should be good. Again, follow us everywhere you'd like to. Give us a like on YouTube and subscribe. Tell your friends. And, of course, you guys should join the Discord, AAADiscord.com. Thank you to my wife and
Yes.
my wife's wife, Lady Emery, and my wife's husband, Friggy,
Pancakes had 'em. Thanks
Yes.
you for joining us today.
for a very nice conversation. Very informational today, I think is how I would put it.
So educational.
So educational, because life is study. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.